Welcome to the show. This is Cash Alternative TV. I'm your host, Christopher Carruthers, also known as Tao of Satoshi. And with me today, I have a very special guest. I'm not sure his real name, but he's the Hexologist from the Hex community. And today we're going to talk all about Hex and we're going to talk all about Dash. This is a unique opportunity for people that might be curious about both currencies to learn what's going on with both currencies. And if you're a Hex community, you're going to learn about Dash. And if you're in the Dash community, you can take this opportunity to learn about Hex. Because I believe that both currencies have a great future, and both currencies are not scams, although they've been said to be scams in the past, but we're not. So we're here to convince you guys that we're not scams, and all the good things that are going on in the community. So without further ado, let me introduce the Hexologist.
How's it going? How's it going, man?
Good. So for the people that don't know me, obviously in Hex, everyone's going to know you, but the Dash community that doesn't know you, can you introduce yourself and tell us how you got into cryptocurrency in the first place?
Yeah, so I'm the Hexologist. I have been in cryptos since late 2016. Rode the entire bull run all the way up, and then rode it all the way back down. Came out with pretty much the exact same amount of Bitcoin and cryptos that I had at the end of it, that I had at the start, and really kind of, crypto was dead for a couple of years, and then I've been following Richard Hart since that, whenever he started releasing videos, and saw that he was putting out a token, got really interested because if you guys have ever listened to Richard Hart, he's really brilliant, very well-spoken person, kind of eccentric. So some people think that that might be the reason why it's a scam, is just because he's an eccentric dude, wears a top hat, has a throne, says the F word quite a few times. And so people just don't, it rubs them the wrong way, very abrasive sometimes. But if you can get past that and you really look at some of the stuff that he's put into, which I did I was in Hex for about a year before it actually released. I've been in the community since pretty much day one of the Telegram group that had started, and been in there since day one. And the first day that it started, that Hex released, I started up my channel, and now I'm here. I've been doing a live stream every day at 6:40 p.m. Eastern time on dlive.tv/Hexologist, and I've done it for the last 367 days today. So yeah, so every day I've done it. So
that must demand a lot of your time, that's something that requires quite a commitment on your part.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's been a great year, and I really enjoy Hex. Made me a lot of gains. So
yeah, I've seen you on your live stream, and I think you're kind of like me. You're pretty open-minded, and you're pretty excited, and pretty optimistic about things. So that's something that I would consider myself like your Dash counterpart.
Yeah.
Except I don't do as many live streams as you do, though. You definitely got me beat there.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so let's talk about the beginnings of Hex. So, like you say, you followed Richard Hart, who was like a community member in Bitcoin, right? And he was right. Yeah. How did he fall out with Bitcoin? Like, I know he's got like an axe to grind with Bitcoin. How did that happen?
I think the axe. I'll start with so Richard was a Bitcoin maximalist when back in 2017, and then how he shows it in most of his videos is that his worldview changed. That Bitcoin, he saw that the big blocks weren't coming, that we were supposed to fork in all this stuff. It never actually happened, and really Bitcoin is kind of a stagnant technology at this point. We can't you're not going to get any privacy. You're not going to get all these things that they've been telling you. Oh, it's going to do this. It's going to do this. Because if you start forking in Bitcoin or privacy in Bitcoin, then the exchanges aren't going to list it because it's not beneficial to them. They want, and now the Bitcoin exchanges are pretty much the new banks. And, so they're pretty much telling Bitcoin what they can and can't do. People might not think that, but really, I mean, if Bitcoin, what's the next thing on the Bitcoin roadmap that's going to happen? Nothing. There's nothing really on there. So I think Richard Hart, his worldview changed. Ethereum has the best developers on it. the Bitcoin has the tragedy of the commons, where you're not going to get somebody to put ads out. Grayscale puts ads out, but that's about it. That's all that you're going to get for Bitcoin. You don't get somebody that has a big enough bag to promote Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin kind of dies off the tragedy of commons. It's super slow. It's really expensive. And I mean, if I was to send you Bitcoin, it would take 30 to 60 minutes. I mean, 3 to 6 confirmations. And, one confirmation is usually about 10 minutes. So so it's a stagnating technology. You can't build on top of it. If you wanted to build a new coin, there's no real way. I mean, look at Lightning Network. How long has that been going on? And still nothing, right? And more Bitcoin is on the Ethereum network, wrapped Bitcoin, than on the Lightning Network. So it's just hilarious how so it's just a stagnating technology. So I think Richard Hart's worldview changed. He saw that Ethereum was innovating, has the best developers, and you could build something on top of it. And he wanted to build on top of it and build his own crypto. So that's where Hex came.
All right, so you're preaching to the choir when it comes to this Bitcoin failed at its store, at its like unit of exchange. It's wanted to be an electronic peer-to-peer cash. It's pretty much failed as so far in that endeavor, and Dash is keeping up on that. It's taking over where Bitcoin failed. It's solved a lot of its problems. So if you're new to the crypto industry or you're a Hex person, I encourage you to stay and with us until the end of the video, where I describe what Dash is doing, because there's a lot of things that Dash is doing that Bitcoin should have done. And Dash wants to be that unit of exchange. It wants to be that that quick day-to-day currency that you have to use. And that's why I think that Hex and Dash would make a good pairing. Now, I want people to know that if you're in the Dash community, I'm not coming from a position of official. I'm not an official Dash. I don't work for the Dash core group or anything. Right. The opinions that I have are my own. But I honestly think that this is going to be a good thing for people to take these two open source currencies and move them a little bit closer together for those reasons that we're going to discuss. Okay. So the next question I have for you is, how did Richard Hart get the idea for Hex, and where did this come from? Like, you followed him since before the idea was even brought up, correct?
Yeah. So he actually asked a lot of the questions to the community, like, hey, do you guys want this? Do you guys want this? What's the good inflation rate to have? And asked the community, and he took a lot of what we said and put it into the coin, other than what he already kind of probably had in his mind. But he also had developers, and he had his mind. So it's really like, if you've listened to Richard Hart, he's probably one of the smartest people in the crypto space that is broad and has like an overview of like what actually works in the crypto space, what the bad ins and outs, and the good things about even certain coins. He can tell you bad things and good things about each coin, it seems like. So he's got a very good technical and fundamental overview of what that is. So yeah, I mean, so he came up with the ideas from the community, I think from himself, so yeah, that's pretty much where I think that he got it from.
Okay, so he did like conversations with the community that he was around, like his followers and his friends and everything else, and he came up with the idea of having something that's more of a store of value than Bitcoin, because basically that's what Hex is trying to do right now. So he deemed that to be the thing that was like the missing piece in crypto right now.
Right. I mean, Bitcoin's trying to be the store of value now, which has changed. How many? It's changed 3 times since it's actually start, where it's peer-to-peer electronic cash, which is what Bitcoin forked off to do. And now I think it was something else for a while, and now it's the store of value. But Hex is it's designed to, it's to accrue interest. It's designed to get people to stake their Hex. And, as much as people hate it, people are in cryptocurrency to make money. They're not in it. So, we're in it for the technology, and it's cool technology, but in the end of it, you're wanting to make money. If you look at anybody, they're talking about what's the price going to be? What's this going to be? And so Hex is designed to lock up, stake your Hex, make some interest off of it. But when you're staking that Hex, there's less hex to be sold on the market, which, you know, what happens when something is taken off the market and there's none left to sell? Well, it makes the price go up. So a lot of people hate that, you know, oh, we're designed to the price to appreciate, but you know, you tell people that and they're like, oh, that's a scam, that's a scam. Well, it's like, yeah, but that's kind of just it's the carrot and the stick, where you lock up your hex to earn more interest, but then you know, if you lock up your hex, that just the price takes off because there's none left to sell. So
yeah, there's lots of ins and outs with hex, and it's basically like you buy hex and you have it and you get shares in hex. So
right.
and then you have a part of the inflation going forward. So right now, after the adoption amplifier, which happened, which gave 50 million coins a day, right?
500 million.
500 million coins a day. And then now you only have 3.69% going forward. So over time, hex is going to become more and more scarce. And the T-share prices are only ever going to increase because that's what it's designed to do. And okay, so here's a problem that people have with me. That they said, oh, because you want more people to join the currency, that means that it's a scam. They're saying that the newcomers come in and that directly helps the people that are already involved in hex. And I said, well, isn't that every cryptocurrency? You know,
that's not just only every cryptocurrency. That's the stock market. That's every, you know, you need new people to come in to buy the, you know, it's not, people think that that's a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme where you need to take, and then the person up at the top can just exit scam. Well, hex, no matter what, the smart contract, even if the person that owned the most hex exited and sold all their hex today, the hex contract would still print. It is like a computer program that is printing the money. It's just like Bitcoin. If every single one of the miners shut off today, then one person was mining, well, that one person who's mining would just accrue all of the interest or all of the Bitcoin. So the interest for hex is the same way. It's, if you're the only one that's staked, then you get all the interest and you're the one collecting all the interest, not the people that are remaining liquid. But yeah, exactly. It's funny how people say that. It's just like, oh, okay, you know, you just don't know how markets work, I guess. Because
it's not like. Right. So like the people that are watching this right now, Hex is not a multi-level scam. It's not like if I join right now, I'm going underneath you, Hexo, and you're underneath. It's not like I'm paying you my interest or anything like that. Nope. It's the same as any other cryptocurrency. You join, yes, that helps the people that are in it. But you join Bitcoin, that helps the people that are in it. You join Dash, that helps the people that are in it. The difference with Hex is the fact that you can take that money that you just put into the cryptocurrency and you can use that to make more cryptocurrency. Right. It's like you're mining Hex in essence. It's like you're mining Hex, but you don't need all this complicated equipment to do it. You just need to put money into the system. That's it. Exactly. The only things that you would need to pay are the fees to the Ethereum network. That's your overhead. Anything else is profit. So then that's what I don't think anybody all these people understand. It's the problem that I have with Hex. I'll tell you right now, Hexo, is that the reason why people think that it's a scam is because there's so much promotion going on, so much in-your-face promotion. so people think that, oh, these people must have to, you know, they must be getting a cut or something. Like right now, they're not getting a cut.
I've not gotten any, like, I don't get paid from Richard Hart. Nobody's, you know, so there was a referral program for the first 360 or 350 days, which was a 1-tier level program. So if you used my referral program, or you use my referral link, then I got 20% of what you got, and you got 10%. And if you referred somebody, then it's just going to you. It's not a multi-level marketing. It's like you go under him, and then there's another person, and then I get all of that underneath you that you got. It doesn't work like it's 1 tier, just like Amazon uses, just like Tesla uses. You know, any huge company uses a 1-tier referral program, because referral programs are awesome. I mean, if you can get, I mean, look at Hex. You could start up a YouTube channel and, you know, show your referral link. Somebody could use it, and it's you know, it helps out that person. And people see those people, like you said, like where it's all in your face. And that's because we had that referral system. There's so many people that got on board and they were like, hey, I'm going to try to get my referral system or the referral link out. But now it's over with anyway. There's no more referral system, and look how many people we still have that are, like you said, there's a crazy promotion. There's so many people out there, and it really is in your face, especially if you say, Hex is a scam. So you get the Hex against, like, they're like a wasp nest that just comes after you. It's like, I mean, it's awesome that we have that, but yeah, I mean, so people think that we're a multi-level marketing scam because they don't understand what that is. They don't understand. They've either not looked into Hex. They don't know what a multi-level marketing scam is. They don't know what, or they call us a Ponzi because they don't know what that is either. And, same thing with the fiat guys. The fiat guys call Bitcoin a scam. The Bitcoin guys call Ethereum a scam. The Ethereum guy, it's a pyramid scheme of calling each other scams. Everybody below you. If you're a fiat guy, you hate everything else. And if you're a gold guy, you hate everything else. And if you're a Bitcoin guy, you hate everything. And most of these people, it's just because they have huge bags of whatever they're calling whatever, if they have a huge bag of gold, they call everything else a scam, so it's really ridiculous.
So that people like you and I, Hexo, like that have open minds, we can take advantage of that closed-minded system and that tribalistic system to actually make money.
Right?
If you have an open mind and you're willing to do research into this stuff, like, so people in Dash, do your research on Hex. People that are watching from Hex, do your research on Dash. These are both solid projects that have gotten a bad reputation for no reason. This is something that you can relate to. Like back in 2014, everybody's calling Dash a scam because we had a rocky start and there's some mistakes made at the beginning. But that doesn't show the developer's intentions. That only shows that he made mistakes.
Right.
And the fact that it's been around for so long now shows you that these mistakes are not based on malice. They're just mistakes of an inexperienced developer. And that's where, we have different reasons for being called a scam, but with Hex, you actually have a finished product, right? There's nothing that needs to be developed with.
It's nothing. It's completed. You don't have to worry about, somebody saying, oh, let's fork this in and do this. No, I mean, you can build layer 2, but it's complete. It's immutable code. It's complete. There's nothing that, you can change the UI that's of the go.hex.com website, but it has nothing to do with the code. The code is sitting there, and there's backup front end. So even if go.hex.com went down, where you stake your Hex, there's a backup hex.com. There's other ones. You can go onto Etherscan and just do it there, even if you had to. So really, it just can't be shut down. It's awesome.
Okay, well, so let's do a quick overview of somebody. Say there's a Dash person out there that might want to get involved with Hex. So, like, what's the procedure that if I have Dash and I acquire Ethereum? Let's skip that step. So, if a Dasher needs to acquire Ethereum, usually to get into the Hex network. So, what does he do from there, and what's the process of getting yourself hooked up with Hex and staking?
Yeah, good question. So what you would do if you have your Ethereum, you would start up a MetaMask account. So metamask.io, it's a wallet for your browser. You'd get that. And then once you've got that all set up, you'd send the Ethereum to that MetaMask wallet. And then you would go to ETHHEX.com, which is a front end fork of the Uniswap protocol. So Uniswap wanted to gatekeep us. So we've been gatekept from Uniswap for whatever reason that they decide that they don't want to list Hex on their main Uniswap platform. So we forked off the front end. It's the same thing. It's open source code, so you could do it if you wanted to. There's people that do theirs, but we just did ours. ETHHEX.com. You'd go in there, swap your Ethereum for Hex, and it's super easy. I mean, Uniswap is awesome, and it sucks that they kind of want to gatekeep us, but Uniswap is so cool because you can. You don't have to put your ID. You don't have to be like, hey, go to Binance or something and show your ID and say, oh, please approve me so I can get my Ethereum and get my, all this other junk. And then they sell your ID to some third world country or lose it. And then so Uniswap is awesome. You don't have to do that. Just a quick swap. And then you go to go.hex.com /stake. And then you can stake your Hex for 1 day to 5,555 days. And depending on how long you stake and how big amount of you stake, you you would trade your hex in for T shares, and then T shares is like the percentage of the mining pool that you're getting. It's not really mining, it's the percentage of the pool that you're getting. But we said, it's comparable to mining. It's comparable to mining on the Bitcoin.
Right. So if you know anything about the legacy network and certificate of deposits, that's basically what Richard Hart has created here on the blockchain. And whereas fees in a standard certificate of deposit, if you cancel early, you pay a fee just like you do in Hex. But this fee goes towards the bankers. But in Hex, if somebody does that, it goes towards the stakers. It gets divided up by the amount of T shares, and that's what you get per T share.
Yeah. So if you own 1% of the pool of all the T shares, if you own 1% of all in somebody emergency unstakes or late unstakes, because you have a 14-day window after your stake is supposed to be up, then that 1%, you get 1% of the fees. Say somebody unstakes a million hex, you get 1% of that right to your stake, and then
Awesome. So this is one thing that somebody can do that it's very easy. Like that's why I think you guys have a very good sales pitch for no coiners, people that aren't involved in cryptocurrency, because they ask why should I invest in Hex over Bitcoin? And you say, well, you park your money in Bitcoin. You're just hoping that it goes up. That's it.
Right.
The amount of Bitcoin that you have is going to stay the same. Whereas in Hex, if you park it there, you're going to see that money go up, and you're going to see the price increases that are likely to follow when people get more involved in the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And where people
happens when you lock it up, because nobody's able to sell it. So it's pretty awesome. So it's the carrot and the stick. Like I said, it's very, if you lock your hex up, you're accruing more hex, and the price rises because everybody's staked. And then when it goes up, when the price starts going up, people emergency unstake to try to sell. And so the people that are just staking are just like, oh, thanks. And then when the price is going down, people are emergency unstaking because they're scared about the market. And you're just, as a staker, you're just making money. You sit back, and if you were going to hold it anyway, why just try to play the market? You're just,
and it's important to note that Hex is only a 1-year-old currency. It just recently celebrated its first birthday, right?
Yeah.
Or is it today? It was yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Right. So happy birthday, Hex. Happy belated birthday. This is a 1-year-old cryptocurrency. Like the sky's the limit really for this crypto to keep going up in value. And the fact that it punishes people for selling and it rewards people for holding is something that we don't see in the cryptocurrency up until now. So Richard has created something that's pretty good. So can you explain a little? Go ahead.
Oh, it's done. If everybody, it's done 26,600% this year. So it's the highest appreciating asset, not only in cryptocurrency, but in any market of the entire year. So, and it's, we just had the big payday. So it is down 70% right now, just because we had a huge payout of $1.5 billion. So it was a huge payout, a huge news event. And what they say is to buy the rumor, sell the news. And it was a huge a news event for Hex. Like we got 1.2 billion. But as you can see, it's starting to already creep back up. So if anybody's really looking to get into Hex, I mean, when it's down 70%, that's usually when people are, you should be accumulating, not when it's, up 26,000% ready to buy. A lot of people get in and then they are upset 2 weeks later when it's down. It's like, well, guys, it's up 26,000%. What did you expect on that one?
Yeah, nothing goes up in a straight line, and if it does, that there's something wrong. That the big crash is coming. I think something that you see a healthy thing goes up a bit, goes down, goes up a bit, goes down, but it just keeps going up and to the right over time.
Right.
So this is what has happened historically with all cryptocurrencies. There's no reason that Hex should be any different. There's no big people out there that want to sell. If there was, it would have happened already. Yeah. And the people that are actually staking for all this time are not going to emergency unstake and lose their money. So I think that's good.
We got a guy that staked $8 million worth of Hex for 15.2 years. I mean, and if he emergency unstakes, he loses it all.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got to wait at least 8 years to emergency unstake that just to get back his principal. And so I mean, people really do believe in this. I mean, we've got $300 million worth of Hex staked for an average weighted average length of 4.75 years. So I mean, people really do believe in that. I mean, what other cryptocurrency do you see that people are staked, and you can see all their stakes on a graph at hex.vision? You can see how many people are staked, and if they decide to emergency end stake, well, they're going to get penalized, and you as a staker is just going to keep accumulating more hex. So.
Okay, I'm just going to tell the people that are watching this, I'm just going to tell them my own experience with Hex. So I kind of dipped my toes in the water a little bit about probably about 6 months before the big payday. So I said, I'm going to hold this and I'm going to sell right before the big payday, because I thought there'd be like a crescendo right coming up, and there was.
That's pretty much yeah.
But I kind of timed it wrong, because there was a big one like 3 weeks before the big payday, and then it went down, and it only went back up a little bit after that.
Oh, okay.
So like the pump was up to like zero. I think it was like almost a penny and a half or something.
Yeah.
And then it went back down, and then it didn't go up all the way. So what I did is I stayed with my system, but over time I learned more about Hex, and I learned what it was doing, and I watched some Richard Hart videos. I watched some people in the community that were convinced about Hex. And over time, I said, you know what? Maybe with all the promotion and stuff, it kind of looks like a scam. But the underlying asset, the underlying program, is like something that's kind of boring, to be honest. You just put your money there, it accrues over time, and then that's it.
Right.
And I think that's what you're going for, is people that don't want all this, trading and stuff. And
yes,
people you send your money to an exchange, and you hope you get it back and everything else. And so anyway, I figured all this stuff out. And then at the big payday, I had my Ethereum ready. I had sold before the big payday. So I rebought with my Ethereum at that when it went straight down after the big payday.
Dude, on that huge wick down,
yes.
That wick down. Dude, nice job, man. Nice job.
So that's what I did. And then now I put it away, but I don't have any long stakes. I'm going to be honest. I'm still kind of I'm still feeling out the waters, still testing it out. So I basically put mine in for about 19 days right now. So it's gonna mature on the 19th of December, and with that, I'm making a 12% APY right now.
Yeah.
So just for a short stake, like 19 days, I'm still making about like $15 a day or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's something that I wouldn't be doing on Bitcoin. And the fact that it's holding its own with Bitcoin price wise, it's definitely a much better investment and much better place to stick your money. Even for a short term, you're still making money. And if you believe in it, you can put like a shorter, like maybe a smaller amount for a longer time, and you're still going to be making like a bigger API than I was making, a bigger APY than I was making.
Yeah, I think like if you do average stake, so if you do 4.5 years, I think you're getting 40% is what the APY is, which is amazing. And I mean, we have these things that are called staking ladders. So you can, you'd stake for each, let's say you had 100,000 hex on each year up for 10 years. And you just do that every year, you have 100,000 hex coming out. Well, you would take the interest that you've accrued off of that, the amount of hex that you've just gotten, sell the interest and do whatever you want with it, sell the interest, and then restake the principal. And you can continue to do that forever. You can have perpetual, at 10 years, you're having these 10-year perpetual stakes coming out forever. And those 10-year stakes have enormous amount of returns on them. I mean, you're getting 3 times as many shares as you would for just, you're just getting 3x the amount of shares that you would if for other than 1 day stakes. So
all right, so these are the things that make Hex good. But what if you're out there and saying, well, what if it gets hacked? Like, has it been peer reviewed at all?
Right, yeah. So it's had two security audits by CoinFabric and Coin. Oh man, there's 2. It's on hex.com. There's 2, and then there's 1 economics audit to make sure that all of this plays out, all the math works out, and you can read all of those. You can read the audits on just hex.com. So if you just go to scroll down, you can go to hex.com and you can read them for yourself. If you can read code or if you can read the audits, you can go on Etherscan and read the code if that's another thing that you would like to do. But yeah, I mean, so no really other cryptocurrencies really have audits that especially an economics audit like that. So.
Yeah. So Richard Hart has done his homework on this stuff. And you're right. He definitely is eccentric. I definitely will give you that. But sometimes, you got to listen to eccentric people. They know what they're doing, and they're kind of visionaries.
Right.
You see it like with Apple, with Steve Jobs.
Exactly.
You see it with Telus, what is it called? Tesla and Elon Musk.
Right.
These people are eccentric, and look at them.
Right.
They're successful. And not that's not to say every eccentric person is going to be successful. But let me tell you, I'm going to give you the Hex community some credit. There is a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. There is a lot of competition. And what Richard Hart has built with this massive group of fans that he's built in this 1 year is just simply amazing to me. Right. You guys have over 1,000 people watching your live streams for a 24-hour live stream. And this coin has only been alive and it's been gate kept. That's the thing. So basically it's Richard that's created all this. And then all the waves of people that came after him are spreading out. And now I'm joining the crew, so I'm promoting it on my channel as well. Yeah. So awesome. That's the growth that we're seeing, right? And this is to me that's amazing. Just with a referral program and the power of personality of one person, you guys created all this, and it's not showing any signs of stopping this growth.
Well, I mean, and most of us aren't going away because we have 15-year stakes. So it's guys, so let's all I saw that you even got a little bit of hate because you're, on Twitter for just promoting, whatever. And it's guys, we're going to be here for a while. We have to start getting along with other groups of people. Let's not be so closed-minded. I think that being closed-minded or tribalistic is, I think there is a really, that's why I got into Hex is because I wasn't a tribal, I wasn't Bitcoin forever and it's never going to do anything. I think that Hex, there's been things that have been trying to build on top of Hex, but really most of the things are trash. But when I see something that actually looks decent and it can actually work on top of Hex or with Hex or something like that, it's why not give somebody at least explain to us how it could? And that's why I'm here today, is because you said that we could have symbionts or a relationship, and it's let's try to build that instead of being no, you guys suck and we're better than you, or you're paying, it's what are you guys, why are we acting like this? So that's why I'm here today, is because I wanted to hear more about Dash and your guys' community, because I really have no idea. I've not the only thing I saw with Dash is what's the guy's name? And he was on some really big TV show, and he was wearing a Dash. He's a really big actor, and he was wearing a Dash shirt. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Stephen Baldwin.
Yes. That's the only thing of Dash I really know. So I'm very low, but I kind of wanted to come in here with that. I wanted to ask you questions about Dash and how.
That's hilarious that you say that, because in Dash we have a treasury system where a portion of our block reward goes to the treasury. And back in 2017, when we were rolling in cash, because the price of Dash was $1,600, we had so much money. so one of our things that we made, one of the things that we actually asked for was for what's his name, Max Kaiser and Stephen Baldwin. They were doing a show called I think it was Going Across America or something. I can't remember what it was called, but anyway, that was part of the promotion, that Stephen Baldwin was going to be wearing that, and we'd have Dash placements. So if you're in Dash and you're listening to Hexo, that we did get at least one follower due to that. at least one.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it, guys. That's hilarious.
Perfect. So that is something that we can say that promotion works. We might have spent a little bit too much for that. We probably didn't get our return on investment, but at least a couple of people saw it, right? So that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so this is what I just want to address, that last point that you made, talking about competition between Hex and Dash. There basically is none. It's two opposite use cases. One is a store of value and the other one is a method of payment. They go together, they're hand in hand. There's no need for any competition or any animosity between our communities. Right. If you want a store of value, you'll buy Hex. If you want to have a smooth payment network, you'll buy Dash. And this is where I think we can work together, because you guys have a rabid following. This is something I want to develop with Dash Nation. I want to have a rabid follower of people that just promote Dash and promote it as its use case, right? So I think that the community, if they were willing to get on board, the Hex community and the Dash community, we can definitely help each other out. So that's why, and that's my opinion. I'm not representing Dash in any official capacity. I'm just a Dash community member that thinks that this is possible. I do have quite a following myself, so people will probably listen to me. But I don't represent Dash in any official capacity. I just want to make that known to anybody.
That's the same as me. That's the same thing. I'm just like a guy with a lab coat on that I cosplay as the Hexologist. Nobody pays me. I just do it for fun. It was like kind of a meme at first, and now everybody's like, it becomes where you just can't take the lab coat off. So it's like, it's fun. It's pretty fun though. I mean, so yeah, I'm not in any formal capacity, the guy that gets sponsored by Hex. They don't pay me anything. But that's awesome, dude. Like that's how you grow a community. Like what you said is just like you start it and then you get people to follow you, and then then you start a rabid following. I don't understand how Hex has gotten such a crazy rabid following, but it's awesome. I mean, I love, like, all the Hex kids are really cool, and so yeah, I mean, that would do you guys have a really big community over there in Dash? I mean,
no, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I think that the Dash community is more like professional oriented. They don't have that like rabid teenage college type of rah-rah, like, and this is and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually what I want to bring with the Dash, because any cryptocurrency out there is only as good as its community. Like, only as good as the people that there's developers, there's people that are serious in building, and that they definitely have their place, because without it we have nothing to promote. But if you only have one and you don't have the other, then you're not going to be successful, in my opinion. If you have a rabid following and a crap product, you're not going to be successful. Right. And if you have a really good product with no following, you're not going to be successful either. So that's why I think the two of us could get together and maybe Dash can show the Hex community a bit more professionalism, and the Hex community can show Dash a lot more energy, which I think is needed in the Dash community.
Yeah, the community, I really don't know what is behind it, but I mean, the Hex community has came together, and I think a lot of it has become because we were gatekept. It shows, people start really understanding, oh man, why are they being gatekept? Like, this is actually a decent product, and why are these, like, somebody puts in money on day 33 and then makes 250x, and they can sell, and they can actually use that money, and because you see people out there, oh, you can't even cash out, oh, when are you can't even sell that, and it's like, yeah, you can. What are you talking about? You can actually sell that. There's liquid market. It's got $5 million worth of liquid market on a decentralized exchange that's been around, well, I guess, and we've only been around for a year. So people, I think the communities came together and really started to bond because of the animosity from other communities, especially the Bitcoin maximalists. And I'm sure you guys have dealt with the maxis as well. But
absolutely, and that's the thing that we have in common, where our projects are definitely opposites, but the way we've been treated in this industry is exactly the same. Like, we've been gatekept. Anything that we put on like our cryptocurrency will get downvoted to oblivion, because the people that are there are Bitcoin maximalists or Moneros. Like, they don't like Dash. So then they're in a position of power, right? So that's why we get gatekept there. And you guys just simply don't even show up on CoinMarketCap. Like, you guys are like on page 3 or something, where you should be on page 1. Yep. So and this is something that I think will change over time, because basically your coin works. There's no specific kind of scammy things that are going on with your coin. All it is that just you put your money in and you get interest. It's like it's like any almost like a proof of stake, right? So like that, this is not something that doesn't belong on the first page. So I think over time they'll probably put it there.
Yeah, let's hope. I think that most of it is just the animosity towards Richard, and they don't want somebody. They're these they're people that want a fair, they want to, the everybody should have the money and not one entity. And if somebody owns 70% of a coin, then they get upset, and which we don't even know if the OA, because that's a big huge thing, is the OA owning a good portion of the Hex. Which, if you look at any business, Amazon, Bezos owns more than 50% of Amazon. Elon Musk owns more than 50% of Tesla. All these companies that are hugely successful one person is going to own more than them, but they are upset that somebody owns more than them, and it should be spread out. But what you really see is if everybody has 100 hex, and there's going to be one person that sells it to somebody else, and then another person has 200 hex, and now that and then they have more than them, and now everybody's upset at that. So it's just really dumb that people really think this way. It's like, guys, that's not how you want to roll. You don't want to roll with having everybody be on the same playing field, because it doesn't work. If you buy and sell things, like capitalism actually works, you can actually make. That's what we want. We want money.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
I have no problem with Richard Hart owning a big share in something that he created. Of course, he created it. Why should I come in and expect to be the same as him when I did nothing towards the project?
Exactly.
Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Elon Musk created Tesla. Of course, he's going to have a big share. Bezos created Amazon. Of course, he's going to have that big share. He created the damn thing. So.
So with Dash, do you said you had like a treasury? Is that like an automatic, so one of the questions that I had was, how do you guys?
Hey, hold on. We'll get to that. We're still talking about Hex.
Okay.
No, I want to talk about Dash, and we will talk about Dash in a second. I just have a couple of more questions about.
Yeah, no problem.
So the first one is Richard Hart. I saw him on Telegram the other day, and he basically tells us that he doesn't want to hype things. So he's working on stuff right now, but he's not going to drop, oh yes, I'm working on that, and have people pump the price, right? I think he's more interested in doing and then explaining and announcing, Yes. So then if he does it and announces it, then of course the price is going to go up. There's nowhere to pump it.
Right.
So can you comment a little bit on that?
Yeah, that's what I love about Hex is he didn't, like, if you look at most coins, and you go, okay, what are they doing? Okay, they're saying, hey, give me all of your money, and then we promise we're going to build you this in the next, undetermined. Usually it's an undetermined amount of time. And so, where I've been in since late 2016, I saw the ICO boom. I saw all the cryptos go all the way up and then come all the way back down, because that's what they did. They gave you promises. We call them promise coins in Hex. And they say, oh, we're going to build this. We promise. Just give us all your money. Well, once you give somebody all of your money, then there's really no incentive for them to keep building. They already got your money. So with Hex, it actually completed that. We finished the product before actually, not we, but Richard and the devs and stuff, they finished it and then they released it. So there's nothing left to be done on it. There's things on layer 2 that, sure, there could be, margin trading platforms, or there's a privacy that we have on it now with Hex NATO, and there's ZK Sync, anything that really Ethereum gets on their platform, we can benefit from as well. But so that was like one of the big things why I actually decided to promote Hex, is because it's actually complete. I don't have to worry about, some guy down the road, or Richard, if he's like, hey, give us all your money, and then he just never finishes it. I don't have to worry about if it's going to ever finish. It's finished. I'm guaranteed to get paid out because the smart contract works. The only, if something bad happened, which I think that we've gone through all of the part where anything bad could happen, as the code has been running for a year. We went through the big payday, we went through the AA and all of that. It's done. So really, it's boring. Like you said, it's kind of boring. It just pays you trustless interest at this point. And it's like, there's nothing really, there's nothing. I'm sure people have been trying to hack it or whatever, but it's been going for a year. It's doing great.
It's almost kind of like a hard fork, right? Like you had this AA lobby, and now the AA lobby's gone. You hard fork to something that's just basic, Right. I know you didn't hard fork. Exactly. That's part of the code, but it's easy to explain that way. So this thing doesn't exist anymore. Now this is what Hex is. If you come in right now, you're just putting money into a CD, and you come back later, and it's growing interest. That's
exactly it. Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that is very hands-on, Hex is not what you want. If you're looking for something that you just set it and forget it, that's Hex.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of the cool things I like about Hex too, is because it does have, if you want to be a trader, it's got high volatility too, especially right now. I mean, with the big payday just happening and stuff like that. I mean, we've got volatility, and we have, if you're just wanting to be a staker, hey, you can go stake. And so there's lots of different communities that we could that we're kind of branching out to. Hopefully there's a margin trading platform, so all of the guys that really hate Hex can short it, and hopefully that's I don't know if that, I've heard that maybe that's in the works, but yeah, that's pretty funny. I thought that might be
okay. And
good thing.
Right. So, and the last thing I want to ask you before we switch to you being the interviewer and I'm the interviewee, and so this, I want to know about the, what was I going to, I forgot my train of thought already. Okay, let's talk about the truth engine. What's a truth engine? I keep seeing this all over the place in Hex. I want to know what it is.
So the truth engine, if you go to hex.vision, like it's just built into the code. It's kind of just it's what we call it. It's mostly, if you can see that somebody staked for this long, well, they have to stake for that long. If they stake for 15 years, well, they're either going to have to stake for that long, or they're going to be significantly penalized to the point where they could actually lose their entire stake. So if somebody staked, like I said, that one guy that staked 8 million Hex for 15.2 years, if today he decided he wanted out, if he pressed the emergency end stake button, he would lose all of his Hex and it would be paid to the stakers. So it's like, that's the truth engine. It tells you to like be truthful to others, and you can see all on Hex.vision. There's a graph of, you can see every single stake that's out, and you can try to front run some big stakes. If you see somebody in 10 years that's got 10 billion Hex or something like that stake that day, well, maybe you want to get out 2 weeks before that guy, before he starts before he end stakes. And maybe he dumps it, maybe he restakes it. Who knows what he's planning on doing with it? But you see that, so you can kind of gauge where you want to be in. But yeah, that's a truth engine. It just shows you that people have to either tell the truth or be penalized. So.
Okay, perfect. I remember my question now. So I'm talking about like decentralization or centralization. So like you're talking about ETH-Hex. So basically ETH-Hex is just a what do you call it? Like a fork. A fork. So yeah. It's just basically a front end for Uniswap, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and the actual gohex.com is not a centralized site. Like it's just a front end for the smart contract. If something happened to that website, another one could be created based on the smart contract.
And there already is. There's backuphex.com, and there is you can actually do it on Etherscan. There's a guide that'll show you. We have guides that will show you how to actually unstake your Hex on Etherscan, or stake your Hex, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing is, if Richard died today, go.hex.com went away, whatever. There's no need for any of what he's built right now. The code still works. So,
all right. So it passes the bus test. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
So if Richard got hit by a bus, it would still go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you have anything else you want to say about Hex before you start grilling me about Dash?
No. I think we covered it. Great questions, though.
All right. So I'm all yours about Dash. Let's educate the Hex community here.
Okay, so when was Dash actually? Well, like I would guess, how did you get into Dash? How did you get into cryptos, and when did you get into cryptos?
Okay, well, my story is I got into Bitcoin. Actually, I'm in Canada, so I wanted to get American Netflix. So so I was researching VPNs. And I went to the VPN chat room, and they said, you should go with this VPN because it accepts Bitcoin. And this is the first time I've ever heard about Bitcoin. So I went down the rabbit hole, learned about Bitcoin, learned about everything that it offered. And I said, this is a pretty cool thing. So I decided to invest in it. And then after a while, I was looking at Bitcoin, and then I saw other alternatives out there. And then I saw Dogecoin. I was excited about Dogecoin when it first came out. Got some of that. And then after that, I learned about Dash because this guy was a really good developer. I heard some things through the Bitcoin talk chat rooms. And I started following Dash. I started following Evan Duffield and the community that was building around Dash. And I thought that these people were pretty smart. And Evan wanted to create a privacy version of Bitcoin. He actually approached Bitcoin to talk about creating a privacy version of Bitcoin. And they said, well, no, we're not interested in that, obviously, because they haven't done anything in the 10 years. So he said, okay, I'm going to just create my own thing. It's similar to Richard, right? He said, I'm going to just create my own thing, and I'm going to do my own thing independent of Bitcoin. So that's how I got into Dash. And then ever since then, I started to be more promoting of Dash. I started my own YouTube channel, my own Twitter account. I started the Dash Nation movement. And this is basically what I'm doing now to this day, is promoting Dash in whatever way I can.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you talked about how we could unite the clans almost. How do you picture that being? I mean, you kind of, I feel like you kind of have a picture of where we could, help each other out. What do you see that would be good for the Hex community in Dash, and likewise Dash in the Hex community?
Yeah. So I think that we have things that we can bring to the table. We both have things that we can bring to the table to make the overall ecosystem better. And even if there's Dashers out there that don't want to be a part of Hex, that's fine. If there's Hex that don't want to be a part of Dash, that's fine. Right. But for those who do, I think that we can help each other out and create a pretty good ecosystem, because where Hex is trying to be that store of value, Dash is trying to be that payment network. They both do it. They both work. Hex works for what it does. Dash works for what it does. But we both need to grow, Right. So we can help each other to promote each other. And then and by doing so, we can make our ecosystem even stronger. And the fact is that we both are opposite use cases, but we can both bring something to the table. Hex has an amazing amount of energy. There's something that I always wanted to build in Dash, and where Dash has a lot of professionalism that they can bring to the Hex community. And also, obviously, the use cases are different. But the problem is that we don't have a simple way right now. So if there's any developers out there that are watching from either community, we don't have an easy way of getting Dash towards Hex and Hex towards Dash. So if there was a Hex Dex or something like that, a Hex Dash Dex, that would be cool.
What are you guys on Chainjelly?
I think so. Yeah. I
so you can swap Hex for Dash over there and Dash for Hex, I'm sure, if they're on Chainjelly. So I mean, there's that. I don't know. I think they go off the HIT BTC, the price over there. So I mean,
okay, so there is a rudimentary thing set up, but you have to use a centralized exchange. So basically what we would like to do, I'm sure Hex and Dash would agree on this, is something that was more decentralized. So something like Uniswap, like with Wrap Dash, and a way to take that Wrap Dash and turn it into real Dash. So I'm not sure how it can be done. I'm not a developer, but if I keep doing this, if I keep spreading that message, I'm sure eventually a developer will say, yeah, you know what, Chris is right. I think that this is a good thing to do. I just need to figure out a way to do it. Let me talk to my developer buddy here. And maybe that Dash developer wants to talk to the Hex developer and get it done, right? So if we can just create that vision, then I'm sure somebody out there can get it done. So I think that if you're in Hex, in your situation, you're making Hex and you're saying you have that ladder set up, you cash out your interest and then you send it to Dash and then you can spend it anywhere, that's the vision. Like right now, Dash isn't set up where you can do that everywhere, and Hex doesn't have its whole community set up either. So if we work with each other to help each other grow, then that's going to be beneficial for both communities.
Right. So, so with the Dash, do you see like the Dash? Is it the Dash network? Do you guys call it the Dash network? Or
Dash network.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people call it Dash Coin, but there's actually a separate Dash Coin that is not. We're just simply Dash. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, are you guys like trying to build like something where you guys can do Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, excuse me, so, like payments, like get credit cards, or like there's maybe not credit cards, but a Visa card with that, you send your Dash over there and you can transfer it instantly or whatever.
Okay, so you're in for a treat, right? If all you know is about Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, you're in for a treat. Let me tell you. All right, so Dash, I'll just tell you the story, basically the 30,000-foot view of where Dash was, where we are today, and where we're going. So basically, Dash was created in 2014 by Evan Duffield. There were some mistakes made at the beginning with the inflation and the rewards and the stuff like that. But once we got those smoothed out over time, Dash just becomes what it is today, right? So basically, at the beginning, privacy was the big deal. So what we have in Dash is a sophisticated form of coin join, where we use the masternode network to mix your coins, and then they come out the other side, and nobody knows where they came from. To this day, Dash hasn't been broken. Dash's privacy hasn't been broken. Although there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, Dash can be broken whenever. So we'd like to see them try. There's actually a bounty out there for it, like $100,000 bounty if you can break Dash. So and so that's all done via the main wallet, via the core wallet. So you can just set that and forget it and come back later, and then you'll have that private coins to spend. And okay, so that was the first use case. But over time, Evan realized that because of the masternode network, the second tier network that we have, we can use this network to actually verify transactions just like the miners do, except this is what happens in Dash. So when you send a Dash transaction, the masternodes lock that transaction. So no other inputs can be accepted, like no other outputs for that input can be accepted, right? So you have right away, that transaction is considered locked. There's no way else you can spend it. So then it goes to the blockchain. The miners, the proof of work, they actually tell the blockchain, yes, this is a valid block. And then that transaction that you just did gets entered into that block on the ledger. So then the next step to make everything extra secure, the 3-level step of security, the master nodes go and lock the block. So the block can't be double spent. The block can't be reorganized. So there's 3 levels of protection. First of all, the master nodes lock, the proof of work verifies, and then the master nodes lock again. So there's three levels of way that they cannot be double spent or a blockchain reorganization, which of course we know this can happen in Bitcoin. This can happen in Ethereum. It can happen in any proof of work coin. Although I think Ethereum is going to proof of stake soon, right? It's not going to be proof of work anymore.
I think so. I think they just started the staking, but yeah.
So any proof of work coin, this is always going to be something that you have to watch for. So in Dash, this is where it gets good. So in other currencies, it doesn't cost that much, relatively speaking, compared to some of the investors in there to do a double spend. Now, Bitcoin Cash does something. They have a zero conf. They just completely don't even worry about that stuff. And it's so definitely dangerous. And it's happened in the past where coins like Ethereum Classic have been double spent and it doesn't cost that much. Guess how much it costs in Dash? It's like something like a couple of $100,000 to do a Bitcoin, maybe 10,000 to fork Bitcoin Cash. But with Dash, it's over $500 million to do because you have to not only have the miners, but you have to have a good portion of the masternode network. Gotcha. And how are you going to get all of that Dash to create that? You're going to send the price.
Yeah.
If you're trying to buy 2,500 masternodes on the open market, it's just not going to happen. You know, so like that's something where Dash has a good thing going. But that's not all. This is another reason why I'm excited about Dash. So this is what we have right now. We have the privacy, we have the instant transactions, which can't be said for any other currency, any other proof of work currency. So right away we have a leg up, but we're not satisfied with that. Back in 2015, we just because if you don't innovate, you die, right? So back in 2015, Evan brought this evolution. So basically, what evolution is going to be a way to make crypto easy to use and more accessible. These are the 2 benefits of this. So right now, what do you do when you go into crypto? You have a wallet on your phone, you have a wallet on your desktop, you have a wallet on your laptop or whatever. You have all these different wallets everywhere. And that's not really good for user friendliness, right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to have that, you have to go to centralized places like Coinbase or Uphold or whatever. And then you're looking at counterparty risk. So they were thinking, how can we leverage the masternode network to create a better way to use the crypto? And what they came up with is really cool. So basically, they're using the masternode network to create a decentralized API.
Huh. So you can are you guys going to be able to take deposits then with the?
So listen to this. This decentralized API brings some benefits. So basically, you can set up a user account with Dash and use your own name. So it could be like the Hexologist at Dash, and then I'm Tao of Satoshi at Dash, and I can send you directly to @ the Hexologist, and you can have it wherever you are. Like you can have an app on your phone, you can have an app on your computer. They're all the same. They're all the same. So you don't have to worry about transferring money from one place to another. And this is all decentralized. So, when you send information of any kind to a centralized database on a centralized API, there's a single point of failure. But whereas the Dash network, this is all going to be hosted on the decentralized masternode network, right? So wherever you are in the world, you can access it. So we're going to have, we're going to have usernames. And we're going to have an API. We're going to have an app store too. So if there's a company that wants to make apps on the Dash network, they can do it, and they can use Dash to. So this is one thing that I was mentioning with the Silver the Antidote. So I was saying, like, maybe at some point somebody will find a way to put a Hex app on the Dash network. So then that way we can easily go back and forth between the two. And then there's lots of, and this is something that's not done in any other cryptocurrency, and it's available because of the masternodes. And this is coming out. This is going to be coming out on testnet by the end of December, and it'll be going to mainnet next year. So it's super exciting.
That is
So
really
not
exciting. It's
so
pretty
not
cool.
only, and this is why we're going to be digital cash, because we have that instant transactions, and now we're going to make it easy to use and accessible too. So like
Right.
we'll be so much ahead of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other currencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like I don't know, with like we talked about how Bitcoin is so slow, and you guys saying that you're pretty much instant, right? And
As soon as
not
you
only
send a
that,
transaction.
really, okay, so like, and not only that, but I think you alluded to that that the fees are really cheap. They're not like
Oh yeah, that's another thing
they're
I didn't
nothing.
mention.
They're nothing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're nothing. And the Dash, this is another part of Dash that I haven't mentioned yet. And this is the overseers of Dash. Basically, is the masternode network, is the decentralized voters. We can vote on the ways to move forward. So we can vote on keeping fees low. If we want to keep fees low, we will keep fees low. All the developers have to do is change codes from here and there. Like say if we went up to like 1,000, like a 10x from here, and then
Right.
we weren't satisfied with how low our fees were. It's starting to cost like third world countries a bit more to do it. We're going to say, okay, we vote to lower the fees, so the fees will be lowered. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the actual developers are actually required to do what the masternode network tells them by law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's
so
actually pretty nice.
and you have to wonder why that is. This is another innovation that Dash has, which is basically it's a trust that gets set up between the masternode network and the Dash core group, which is responsible for the development. So
Okay.
this is a decentralized masternode network. So basically, the trust, we can't do it because we have to send KYC to legal entities. So basically, this is created so the decentralized masternode network can own the trust, and the trust owns Dash core group. So we figured out a way to do it in a decentralized way, which is really cool. So basically, whatever the masternode network does, they tell the trust, and then the trust tells Dash core group. So they're legally obligated to do what the masternode network votes for. So if we vote for the fees to be low, they have to do that.
And how do you? And so the master nodes are the ones that would vote for, or who would vote for that again?
Yeah, the master nodes are the largest stakeholders in Dash. So it's kind of like a whole bunch of Richard Harts. And basically we would have to, but not everyone's going to agree, right? So that's why we do voting. We do voting, and if something gets a 10% net vote, so say if there's 4,000 master nodes, if it gets a 400 net vote, then it passes. Okay, because not everyone's going to agree. So that's where that goes. So that's why we've been able to do these innovative things, is because the Dash network has voted for it. And that's also, we also vote for proposals that can be put before the Dash network. And if somebody has an idea of how to improve Dash, they can put it in front of the Dash network, and the Dash network votes for it. If it wins, then in the next super block, it actually gets paid out for it.
Oh, okay. That's kind of neat. It's like you could actually make some innovation in there with without worrying about some big entities, I guess, that like Blockstream or something telling you what you
absolutely. And that's what we thought in the Dash community. We thought, we don't want these people like telling us what we have to do. We don't want somebody coming with hundreds of millions of dollars and say, okay, now Dash is ours, you have to do what we say. We want to keep everything decentralized, and then and that's the way we've done it. We take the block reward from our own currency, and that's why we want to see the value of our currency go up, so we would have more money to use to spend, right? So recently, Dash was about $69, $70, and now it's gone up about 35%, right? It's about maybe 50% to 105, right? So now we have 50% more money to use. So this is why the Dash going up is good. And recently we had a vote saying that we want to kind of change our block reward, put more towards the master nodes than the miners, because the miners aren't needed as much anymore. The master nodes do more of the security than the miners at this point. We still need miners because we still need that proof of work. We still need what they provide. But the master nodes do more when it comes to security than the miners do. So we wanted the block rewards to reflect that. So that we've recently voted for something, and that actually increased the block reward towards the master nodes. So there's a lot of tinkering that goes on. But and what happens in Bitcoin when they want to tinker? They have big fights on Reddit. They have big fights on Twitter. They have big fights all over the place on social media. And what happens at the end? And nothing gets done. So this is why we had this. We invented this in Dash, a way for us to have our debates, because we have them. We have our debates. We say, okay, I don't agree with this, and we butt heads. But guess what? At the end of the day, once those master nodes vote and the decision is made, you either put up or shut up. And that's what we have right now. So that's why our community, that's why our coin has never forked. And that's why our community stays together, even though we have these disagreements. We're like a big family, right?
That's awesome. That's a pretty good idea to do that voting with the masternodes. So with the proof of work, how do you guys? What is your guys'? Are you guys SHA-256?
No, Dash is actually the innovator of X11. It's the largest. It's the largest provider of X11, the largest user of X11. We have over 10 times the amount of our nearest 10 competitors. So we're definitely secure in that aspect when it comes to proof of work. So, and this is something that because of Evan Duffield created that because Litecoin uses script, Bitcoin uses SHA-256. This is the first X11 currency, and we had a long time to develop it before other coins tried to. And obviously, the first movers in anything are going to be the most successful in general. Right. Obviously, something could come and defeat them at some point, but unless they screw up royally, they're gonna stay in the lead. That's why I think HEX is good. Like, just to do a side about HEX, because they're the first blockchain CD, and they always will be. Nobody else has ever done that before.
Yeah, you can look at Bitcoin and look at Bitcoin Cash, and you look at their, the Bitcoin pairings on them, and there you see Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV is just dead. I mean, comparatively. So, but I mean, they are just trying to be, they use the name. You can't use the name. That's their bad. It's like especially with Bitcoin Cash, they gave away free Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash to everybody, and they're just that they're going to get dumped on for the rest of their entire lives because they decided to use. Maybe they could have been successful if they would have just not given all these people free money, but. I mean, so with Dash, so can I, with my computer, can I start mining Dash, or is it like something that I'm not able to mine? Do I have to get like a certain type of, go to China and ask for some kind of miner that's going to be here in about 6 months, or what? Yeah, basically,
it's a very heavily ASIC mine right now. So if you put your computer on, you're just basically wasting electricity. That's all. Yeah. It's definitely been very successful. I think it's been about 1.5 years since ASICs have come on the scene in Dash. This is how Evan designed X11. He wanted it to mimic Bitcoin at the beginning. So at the beginning, Bitcoin was mineable on CPU, right? Then it went to GPU. Then it went to what do you call that other thing? It's not ASICs, but it's something else. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, it went to that step, and then it went straight to ASICs. Okay. So that's what he wanted to create, but in a shorter time. So he did that. It was CPU, GPU, that other thing, and then ASICs. So now we're at ASICs. Now the time for you to mine with cheaply is gone, right? And also
it's been around for a while, so it's got to continue to improve the proof of work.
Yeah, and Dashcore CEO Ryan Taylor, Dashcore Group CEO Ryan Taylor, he was saying that basically because the miners have to pay for their overhead. That's another reason why we want to take some of the block reward away from the miners, so they don't have enough to dump on our heads, basically, right? Yeah. And this is kind of why Richard Hart staked with all the OA at the beginning, right? So so the people that were just in it for the big payday got less, so they couldn't sell as much at the end, which is good. Yeah. So these things are strategic, and these are things that are kind of overlooked in crypto, but they're necessary if you want to create a stable currency and a successful currency.
And most people are very short-sighted, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's your guys are doing this maliciously." It's like, no, we're doing it for better in a project, but you don't understand that. You just are looking at the price of what it's doing at that time. Yeah, exactly. So,
and so for the Hexicans that are watching this and they're wondering, like, you guys are gatekept like crazy. This is why Dash is gatekept too, because we have systematically solved all of Bitcoin's problems. Like I've told you, you name a problem in Bitcoin that it has, we've solved it, or we are solving it with this new technology I told you about. Because right now, it's not as easy to use. It's still like any other crypto. You have different wallets everywhere. But once we establish this decentralized API with the accessibility and the ease of use, basically, there's going to be no reason to use any other cryptocurrency. This is going to be the cryptocurrency for payments. Because why would you use something else? It just doesn't work as well. And Dash works, and it's secure, and there's no reason not to use it.
And it's fast and cheap.
Yeah, and that's why I want those Hexicans to come over and say, you know what? Why don't we start promoting Dash? If Hex is a finished product, Dash isn't. So if Hexicans want to use Dash, they have a vested interest in seeing their investment pay off, right? They have a vested interest in seeing Dash being able to use everywhere. So this is why we need some of your energy, and we can hopefully bring you that payment network that you guys need.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to see, us being able to at least, have some commonality and some, lifting each other up, especially in the crypto space. You don't see that too often with two different, most people are very tribalistic. Oh, I'm in XRP, so everything else except for XRP is trash, and you guys are trash. I'm in Link, and I'm a Link Marine, and that's it. So it's like, I think that it's good to actually be open-minded and to be able to, talk to different people that are in different coins, especially since we're, Hex is so much different than Dash. I mean, Dash, you guys, like you said, you're trying to be the payment system. We're just trying to be a staking coin. And so it's like, there's not a lot of competition in between other than price and people, other than that. And if you want to sell your Hex for Dash and get into it and just, use their payment system, well, you're probably going to, you're using it for what it was used for, or what you guys built it for. And that's, that's what you guys built the system for. So
yep,
it's awesome that you guys are innovating. At least, hey, that's more than Bitcoin can say. That's more than Bitcoin can say.
Yeah, and the reason why is, like, it's not because of the fact that we have the innovation. Like, Bitcoin could do these things if it wanted to. Right. It's just because of the fact that we have that decentralized governance that we can say, you know what, we're going to debate it, and then we're going to shut up. That's right. What's moving us forward, because we can only take a month to decide things. Like, say if somebody comes up and says, all right, I want to do this, I'm going to make a promotion to do this, and then half the community wants it, half the community doesn't. If that's the case, it's not going to happen. But if a majority of the community wants it to happen, and we get that over 10% net vote, then that thing is going to go forward. So the things that, like Evolution, for example, which creates the decentralized API and the everything else that can go onto the Dash platform, that's something that we voted on, and we're funding that as we go. So that's something that Bitcoin doesn't even hear of. Like, right. Bitcoin fights on Reddit, Bitcoin fights on Twitter. They don't fight in a decentralized way like we do.
Yeah. And so you said there was a Dash treasury that's, was that one of the reasons why people hate on you guys as well? I mean, there seems to be a lot of hate if somebody has got some money that they can give out to other people and it doesn't go to what they wanted it to. Or is that a big infight? And do you guys vote on that? Is that something that you guys vote on as well?
No, we voted on that a long time ago. Like, that was our initial vote, is should we even do this? So at the beginning, it was 45% goes to, well, at the beginning, it's 100% goes to the miners, obviously, just like Bitcoin. So then after that, we just say, there's other places in the ecosystem that earn their keep. There's other places in the ecosystem that have value and are necessary to move it forward. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you say, no, there's not. It's just mining. That's it. It's always going to be mining. That's it. It's only mining, which is centralized in China, but we're not going to get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Only 60%. I mean,
but anyways, besides that, so we said that the master nodes also do their part to do the transaction locking and to provide the privacy for your coins in Dash. So should that not be rewarded as well? We said yes, it should be rewarded. So we got 45% now going to the miners, 45% going to the nodes. And now we also said that extra 10% is also, these things are valuable to the network to promote it, to increase the infrastructure, to do other things that bring Dash forward. So we said we're gonna carve a little bit of the block reward to do that. We don't call it a tax. It's not. It's kind of like a tax, but it goes towards things that make us better. It goes that makes the ecosystem better. It makes the product better. So like if you call it a tax, fine. But that's a necessary tax, and it's a good thing to have. And in our opinion, that's why we put that forward.
So it's off of the block rewards, and there's it's what, a penny or so for the how do the miners actually get paid? How are they? I mean, if it's pennies on the transaction, are they just not?
Yeah, it's the same as Bitcoin, where you would have the actual coin base of 25 or however many coins. Is 6.25 now, and then you would add all the fees that have happened during that time, and then that gets divided amongst the three stakeholders. I think the fees don't get divided into the treasury. The fees get divided between the master node and the miners.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the treasury gets a small portion of what the block reward is every block or whatever. How fast are you guys blocks every?
Right. So, like, just for the sake of argument, let's just say that it's a five dash block reward. It's not. I think it's like 3 point something. But just say it's a 5 dash block reward. The mining will get the treasury will get 50 cents or 50.5 dash out of that 5 dash math. So anything that the block reward is, the treasury is going to get 10%.
Okay. And do you guys vote on what the treasury does with the dash? Like, do you guys say what, like, oh, hey, we want this, we want, like Steve Baldwin, you guys like, hey, let's vote on this, or is it like somebody that's kind of saying, I mean, whichever works is best,
I think it's actually Billy Baldwin. I think maybe that's
one of the Baldwin.
Anyways, So that's basically people promote it. So say if somebody in Hex actually had an idea to improve Dash, they could just come up to the Dash network and they pay 5 Dash. And then they put a proposal in front of the Dash network. So if they're over that month, they promote it, they explain, they answer questions. And then if more masternodes vote for it than against it, then they're going to get money from the network, and then they can do their thing, what they're going to do.
That's awesome.
Mind you, there's a problem with this because it's kind of like a pay and pray system, because people can say, I'm going to do this and take the money and then just walk away. And there's really no recourse for it, right? They're not going to get anything from the network again, but they've already got it. So, but we haven't seen, most people have been honorable when it comes to that. We've seen a few cases where small payouts have been just taken and nothing happened with it.
Wow.
But in most cases, it's you have to actually have trust in the network. You're like, if you're a Hex person wanting to do it, you should join the Dash community and actually participate and actually have a presence there before you put something in front of the network.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're just not going to trust you. Like, who's this guy?
Yeah, that's usually how it is. I mean,
you
see that with anything. I mean, even you got a little bit of hate from the Hexa kids on Twitter. It was like, who's this guy? He's trying to get us to he's trying to do this. It's like, well, let's just hear him out. Let's hear him out before we actually start. Which I think that we've had in the Hexkin environment so many people that backstab and we're gonna try to promote your coin, and then 2 weeks later they're out there. Once they got the Hexikins really locked in, they're over there. It's a scam. It actually is a scam. And it's like, oh, what, dude? We were promoting you. And like,
really, so, I mean, you had that?
Well, it was more of just like they're probably this trader mentality where they get a bunch of it, and they get the community to kind of follow them, and they ride it up, and then once they sell, then what they want to dump it. They want you to dump it so they can get more. And plus, with the emergency end stakes, FUD actually is like beneficial if you're staked. So you could if I was like, oh, Hex is going to 0 tomorrow, I could really probably affect the price because I have some influence. And so if you have influence and you can make people emergency end stake, well, then you can pump your own bags in a way by the emergency end stake. So so we've had that. And so I think that that's where people start kind of getting really like, who is this guy? I don't know if we should be trusting him. So but I'm glad that we've had this talk, man. I mean, it's been we've went over a lot of stuff, and dude, Dash sounds pretty awesome. It sounds like way better than Bitcoin. I mean,
it's better than Bitcoin right now, but it will be much better than Bitcoin when this new technology comes up.
Right. And I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad that people are innovating, especially in your community. And it sounds like like a great, at least a symbionts between each other, and that we could have talks like this, and we don't have to be so tribalistic and thinking that you're going to try to take away from us, and something like that. I feel like we're two different kind of entities and trying to
there's really no competition between us. We're both we're in different markets. So I think we can help each other. So this is what I want to reach out. But I understand people that are trepidate, have the trepidation, because we have the same thing in Dash, right? People come and it looks too good to be true, then maybe it is. But I think time eases all that. So if I stick around and I keep saying that this is what I believe in, then eventually those people that don't believe right now will believe. They might not agree, but at least they'll know that I'm sincere, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we talked probably 6 months ago we were going to do this about 6 months ago, something like that. I can't remember when, but
I thought I chose you on the wrong forum though. You said you're not on Reddit.
I post my video once a day on Reddit, and then I saw you post, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably, and then I just completely forgot about it. So yeah, it wasn't that I didn't ever want to do it. It was just like I just never on Reddit. So.
Okay, well, I'm happy you came on the show. We must do it again sometime. If maybe if there's some developments towards this, like if we see some Hexicans joining Dash, like because you can be part of both communities. It's not like you have to leave Hex to be part of Dash. So you could be part of both communities, and we can see how we can work on to make bridges between the two communities. Even if it's just independent people, it doesn't have to be an official or official Hex or official Dash. You don't have to, because both projects are open source. So yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
So thanks for coming on the show, Hexo. Do you have any contact information you might want to give to my viewers before you go?
Yeah, just on Twitter, I'm Hexologist31. On DLive, I stream every day on DLive at 6:40 p.m. Eastern time. DLive.tv/Hexologist, and that's pretty much it. Hexologist, if you just Google my name, I'm pretty much everywhere. Hexologist clips on YouTube, because YouTube also gatekept me. Some Maxis they reported me and got my YouTube kicked off. So I had quite a lot of people on YouTube before that, and they deleted my channel, so I had to restart an entire another channel because they mass reported my channel. But it's all right. I got deleted off.
Do you know what kind of things they were saying? Like, did they tell you, or they
just said harmful or dangerous or harmful, something like dangerous or harmful activity or something like that. Like I was promoting dangerous or harmful activity. I don't know. Yeah. They didn't even give me a strike. I just went, like, we were in the middle of a live stream and it just got shut off. I went to go back on my YouTube account and it was like, this account has been permanently disabled.
Wow.
Try to contact YouTube. They said, nope, we're going to keep you where you're at. Took them 3 months to get back to me after I asked them too. So yeah, we just started up a Hexologist Clips channel. And yeah, so what about you? So anybody in the Hex community can follow you.
Yeah, so this, as you're watching, this is Cash Alternative TV on YouTube. It can be followed on Twitter at CashAltTV, or you can follow my personal account at Tao of Satoshi, right? So it's just like Satoshi Nakamoto, so it's Tao of Satoshi. So that's how you can get a hold of me. So thanks for coming on the show, Hexo. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, and I hope that we can start a good relationship between the Hexicans and the Dashers.
Of course.
Cheers, man.
Hey, yeah,
bye for now.